My name is Trinity Opal, and like I said, I am a spiritual life coach and Druid witch that will be teaching you all about sacred spaces today. So the first question you may have is, what exactly is a sacred space? The answer that I've mainly found is not one that aligns, the answers that I've found don't align with my own definition of it. Like I said, you may see it as someone communes with the gods or the goddesses, or it is a space for meditation and prayer. My definition is a sacred space is a space where it energetically aligns with a witch's intentions. It is a comfortable space for a witch where they are in control of the energy. The stronger the intentions the witch has for the space, the stronger the energy dominates over the space. So the great thing is sacred spaces, when creating one, it's very similar to an altar because it is completely customizable. Just like all kinds of paths, just like all kinds of, spiritual practices, it is completely customizable to you. And basically, there is plenty of ways where sacred spaces can help you. And the main benefits of a sacred space is, first, is the complete focus. So when you are creating a sacred space, you imbue it with a certain intention. And with this intention, you can create all kinds of different sacred spaces. There can be a one that you have for sleep, where you just imbue it with of nice dreaming, of protective energies, of just, especially with people who have insomnia, it is a great thing to have a sacred space because you want to have it connected to that nice sleepful energy that allows us to sleep. So, with that, there is all kinds of other ones. Like I said, there is a work one. I have a sleep one, and I have a work one. So, a work sacred space would kind of look like a one that attracts financial gain and prosperity. So you have that complete focus. With a working sacred space, you want to have that drive, that focus, that attention. You want to calm down all that sporadic energy and focus it into the things that you're doing. So it's that complete focus with those intentions, but it's also manifestation. You can use sacred spaces for all kinds of manifestation. And prosperity is definitely one of them. For example, I keep my sacred spaces in boxes, but you don't have to. I activate them when I need them because I live in a very tiny space, so I make do. But this is my working sacred space. I open it and it activates, and like you see, I have a dollar bill in there. I have some cinnamon, so money comes to me quickly. I have all kinds of plants, crystals, and herbs. Pyrite is a great one for financial gain. So there is just all kinds of ways, all kinds of intentions that you can create with sacred spaces. And so what we've covered so far is their uses. So you can see that imbuing it with intentions, as you create it, you can also have the focus be what you're trying to carry through, what you're trying to do. And the second is manifestation. So those are how sacred spaces can really benefit you. I feel like it's also just a great way to manifest certain things. Like people have dream boards, they have just a board with all of these pictures of like a house they want to get. And you can totally make one, make a sacred space to manifesting that house. You could make one for fertility and have it in the bedroom. Like I said, if anyone's popping in, please let me know your name, where you're coming from, and your pronouns. I would love to know so I can say hi. But there's all kinds of reasons to make a sacred space. I mainly have one for sleep because I have issues sleeping, and I make one for work because I am like all air in my chart and I get distracted easily and I'm just not the best with focusing, so I like to have the energy help me with that. You know, if I'm in align with the energy in my room, then I can get more things done. And I just feel so great as I do it. So that stuff is really important, guys. Let's see. Okay. So what's really interesting is I remember having a conversation with one of my amazing witch friends. Her name is Charlene, and she owns a podcast. She is just amazing, and she really inspired these ideas of a sacred space. And when she was creating sacred spaces, and when I have too, you know, she started to realize that it didn't just affect her, it affected other people. So if, just for an example, if you made a sacred space in your bedroom for sleeping and there was someone else that also had trouble sleeping, it could help that too, because you're transforming and you are having that sacred space be a beacon for the room, so the energy starts to affect others as well. Yes, yes, definitely. Having, you know, separate spaces, it really just, there's just so many things you can do with it. So many things, especially if you have an office. And I know, Shelly, you work on the hotlines. I always have my working sacred space box open when I'm working on the hotlines. It allows me to get into that energy. It is so, so helpful. So another thing that I also want to talk about is layering that energy. So when you create your sacred space, that kind of altar area, you can then, after time, by carrying through with the actions, the activities that align with that sacred space, you are strengthening it. You are layering that energy. So, you know, it may not be completely powerful at first, but keep doing it, that energy is going to grow, and that's when you see it start to affect other people. So there is just all kinds of energy work that can really come into play. I love my sacred spaces, I love my boxes, and that is how you have one in multiple spaces, have multiple sacred spaces in one space. You know, and you don't necessarily have to keep it in a box. You can, as long as you have like a little small ritual to deactivate or reactivate any of them, then you're good. It's like an on and off switch with that kind of energy. As long as you give it time to really, you know, calm down and increase, then you'll be golden. So I showed you my work one, but I also have a sleep one because insomnia is a very real thing. And it's super simple. Like, you don't have to get, you know, that, it's not the contents of the box is what matters. It's the intention, it's the energy. You are a powerful being. You can put your energy into this, and as time goes on, it will layer and layer. So this is my, it's a little hard to see, but this is my sleeping one. It has all kinds of lavender and blue lace agate for calming, for peace, for all kinds of stuff like that. I also have tons of snow quartz because, I don't know, it's a very pretty crystal that really says peace to me. So with that is a great way to have multiple in one space, multiple sacred spaces that have completely different, I mean, we're talking about active energy right next to like deactivating energy so you can sleep. And you just, you know, say your intentions over it. You know, you say like, when I open this is what's going to happen. When I close it, this is what's going to go away. And as long as you have that intention with it, I think everything is going to be amazing. That's what I've had. I literally have the boxes like right next to each other, right on my end table, so I can feel that beacon of energy, that sleeping energy, and that working energy, because I do work in my bed. So it really allows me to get into that space to work, and especially, so I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, and it can be so difficult where your bed is your working space. It can be just so difficult because you don't want to get into that mood. You don't want to get into that energy, you know, you kind of just like could get into that energy. We just want to stay in bed and just relax, you know. So having, opening my workbox, opening my sacred space to where I'm supposed to be active, it prepares me to get into that energy so I can start manifesting the money, and I can start, working and, driving forward with that confidence and that determination. That stuff is so important, especially when, there are other readers trying to make money online or anything like that. That can be so, so important. But like I said, it doesn't have to be just work and sleep. It can be having a fun, harmonized, happy space for your family. It could be relaxing. It could be, like I said, fertility. There are so many things that you can do with these sacred spaces. So, and like I said, what's the contents of it doesn't have to be extremely important or, crazy. I just have these little tiny boxes that are cute, and I just put stuff in them and say a prayer over them, and there's a sacred space. And it strengthens over time, which is great. So it's a wonderful idea. And I feel like it could be really helpful for literally everyone out there. I mean, even just creating a little sleep one would be so great, because you are activating it and layering that energy. Like having a satchel over your bed, or having a just crystals that sleep under your pillow. You can kind of forget about those. You can forget about those, and that can cause you to not have such strong intentions as time goes on. But with a sacred space and with like a box, you're activating it, actively. So that those intentions are ever strong, and they're only stacking. So I feel like it's so much better. It's just, you're doing more with it, so therefore it is more powerful. That is my, thinking with it anyway. And there's all kinds of things that you can put in, like for a sleeping one or for a work one, you can put eggshell powders, and that is usually protective energy. I always like to put roots in my sacred space boxes, because I want to be connected to the ancestral energy. So I'm connecting with my ancestors, I'm connecting with my past family, and that just feels more comfortable. Because you're asking for their help, you're connecting with them. It's lovely, and you can always use it with deities too. If there is, like, you could even make a healing sacred space where you journal, and you flip open that box and you journal away, and you're trying to work out all of that shadow work and trying to bring forth healing. So, you want to call upon a goddess or a god to help in that, and they can do that. You can put a little token, anything that, reminds you of them, it's perfect. So there are so many things that can go on a sacred box. Like I said, it is completely customizable, and I don't think there is anything else I have to say, but thank you all so much for coming. I really, really appreciate it. I'm so happy to be here. I look forward to teaching everyone more stuff and to delving into some deeper topics. Much love and many blessings. Thank you.